Well, thank you guys so much for being on that episode of the pod, which I think is probably going to be called Hometown USA.
It has to be.
Or
Yeah.
something with Hallmark. Or
Christmas baby.
pageant.
Christmas-
Christmas wish.
Or Christmas
Christmas
wish.
wish.
It could be
Christmas
Christmas
a
wish.
Christmas wish.
Yeah.
Something of this kind. But now we're going to do a little talk back about musical improv and nerding out about that and what we got out of that episode. And I would love to start just with how each of you got involved with musical improv and like a brief history of what brought you to it now, today, starting with you, John, and then coming this way.
Okay. Well, with me, I mean, honestly, my mom loves musicals. So I've always had like musicals in my life, you know. Growing up, there was just the one TV in the house. So if I wanted to watch TV, I'm watching whatever my mom's watching. So she's watching a musical. I guess I'm watching a musical. So then, I started to love them, and then later realized that like all the Disney movies I loved as a child, those were all musicals. I was like, oh wait, I've just been in musical world this whole time, you know? And I think it was watching Baby Wants Candy that was like, I want to do this too. So once I saw that show, I was like, I guess I'm taking some classes and I'm going to sing and make up musicals pretty much, you know? And I have had so much fun with it ever since.
Hell yeah.
For me, I mean, I feel like this is going to be a lot of people's story, but my mom would prompt me and my brother as like a kid to make musicals to like entertain my dad and her, like make up songs, but she would try to trick us into like make up songs about loving broccoli, because she actually was like reversing us. She was reversing us in terms of like, I'm gonna trick them into enjoying healthy foods by making them sing about it. And like honestly, it happened. I like broccoli because of it. But from there, I just loved singing. I loved performing. And then I did musical theater for a number of years, which I absolutely adored. And then when I moved out to LA, I was like, oh, well, I love improv and I still love musicals. Why can't I have both?
Right.
And so it just kind of felt natural to like blend those.
I have a little childhood story as well.
Wow.
You all started in childhood.
I know, but I would sing myself to sleep when I was a kid, and up.
No one was singing in his sleep?
Well, my mom, when I was very young, she would sing me a song. But I think even as I became a teenager, I would like, if I couldn't sleep and I was like nervous about the next day, I would like actively sing kind
I
of
sang
in
to
a,
myself a lot too.
yeah, in a
You gave
narration
yourself
kind of way.
lullabies.
And so I've always loved to sing, but when I was younger, I had a horrible singing voice, and people would tell me to stop. So I think I just really wanted to sing even more so because of that. But I was exposed to Rumpelteazer in New York, the incredible musical improv team in New York, but I never really thought about it. I'd done improv for a couple classes, and then just years went by. And then I was at a friend's birthday, and at the end of the birthday, she worked at a comedy club, and we went there after hours, so it was like 1 a.m. And we all, one of her friends played the piano, and they were doing this like musical improv shtick, and so we all just like took to the stage and were performing, just the 5-6 of us, for her birthday, just singing musical improv, and I went, oh, this is actually the most fun I've ever had in my entire life, and I want to move to LA and go do that forever, and that's
That
what
was
happened.
part of the reason you moved?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I literally came here to do musical improv.
Okay.
And you're doing it.
And
You
for
are.
other reasons.
Look
but
at you.
Yeah. And
can
no
say
other
it was just-
reasons?
yeah, I came here for musical improv.
I came for the weather, and it's raining today. So.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, fascinating that you all. I mean, I think John, you started the trend, but yeah, that you all sort of had like a childhood connect with musical improv, and beautiful. I love that. So now you're here. You're no longer children. You're doing musical improv a lot. I think all of you are doing Sing Out Louise.
Yeah, we're on the same team, Small
Oh.
Town Mayor.
Yes. Okay. Got it. So you're all playing together a lot. Tell me about that team, and tell me about like what you're learning from being on a team for a while, and like what you're learning from this group. I mean, it's sort of like a training ground for musical improvisers in that you get a lot of coaching and you do a decent amount of shows. So tell me what's like coming up, like what you've been thinking about and processing on that run.
Well, I'll just say Small Town Mayor is probably one of the most positive playing environments I've ever been in. Truly, it's like wild how positive everyone is and how much we support each other. I don't know if there's like the small town mayor of it all, of like this kind of like sort of cheesy name that inspires a kind of almost Hallmark feel.
Which is so strange that we again had
We
a
did a
musical
small
that
town
was.
show.
About
Yeah.
Unrelated.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys always do small shows set in small towns?
Accidentally, we could do
Well,
a city.
We usually start with like a town hall.
I see. So the
Um,
fact that it had some of that flavor was
Yeah.
a little bit,
Yeah. We have a niche and we go hard into it.
We know
Yes.
what we like,
Yeah.
or what we do often.
Yes.
That's very true. But yeah, no, I mean, it is a very positive environment. I mean, pretty much every show we do is just like you can tell everyone is just willing to jump in and have so much fun with each other. Like we just play well together, which I really like about the team.
Yeah.
I think it's the value in playing with the same group of people over and over and over again, especially when you're like a part of a show like Louise, is now we're starting to have conversations more like, okay, we're working on all our individual comedic and like comedic voices and performer sensibilities, what we like, but also as a team and as a show, what do we like want to do together?
Right.
And like starting to have a couple of more of those conversations to the point where like in recent practice, we did 3 mono scenes back to back. And from each one, it was just like we had no plan to do it, but we would do one. I guess for the listener, a mono scene is a musical improv set all in one location, no cut tos to another place. And we would like go, oh, can we do it again? Oh, can we do it again? And like keep growing together in how we play. I don't know. It was so gratifying.
I think that there is a privilege, and you have so many creative partners that you've worked with for a number of years that you learn how to kind of set someone up for like their thing, their shtick. No, it's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Like you learn what they like and you learn what they're good at. Even like in terms of musical, it's like I know how good you are at like rapping or coming off things with the top of your head super quickly, that it's like, how can I set you up to do that? And I feel like with this team, because it is so positive, we are learning about each other. We're in that privileged position where we can continue to work together and learn together as a team. And then also now we're at a stage, because we've just passed the 7-month mark
Yeah.
of being together, where we
Wow.
can
Happy
like
7.
happy 7, happy 7.
It's a strange anniversary.
It's wood.
That's right. That's the gift. Where's my gifts? But it's at a point now where we know the strengths, and then it's kind of like, okay, now that I'm in a scene with you, how can I set you up to do the thing that I know you're going to sparkle at? Which I feel like comes from working with an ensemble. That's like such a gift to work with a team that you admire.
What do you feel like have been like, imagine you're speaking to players maybe who are, one step earlier in their musical improv journey. Like, what do you feel like you've been working on or struggling with or like had breakthroughs with, either with Louise or in general?
I guess initial struggles might have been, the trust factor, because for some of us, we had never played with other people in the group before, so you're just like, okay, can I trust that we're going to get through this scene together, And I mean, it always works out fine, but there's still that apprehension in the beginning, because you're just like, okay, this is our first time together out here. What's going to happen, And then it turns out great, because we're trying to have fun together, and like everybody really just wants the other person to make sure they're having a good time too, so then everyone's having a good time. So, I mean, some of the craziness that comes from Brittany is just amazing sometimes. I mean, she did a face-off scene.
Some
like,
of the crazy.
I did.
when Brittany gets on the stage.
I mean,
Yeah,
but it was great, and I was like, wow, I wish I was pulling somebody's face off, but I wasn't in that scene, and that's okay,
and that's okay. Next scene.
And Brittany, would you like to speak to that?
I guess I want to speak to that in a different way. Honestly, it was the best moment of my life. But I think that, I just had something and it was on the top of my thing. Oh yes, any creative like moment of pause or any creative like hurdle or resistance or something like that, whether it's like musical, improv, art, drawing, writing, whatever it is, I'm like, I always have to convince myself that as soon as it gets hard, as soon as like something feels like a hurdle or something, it feels like it's like just too far, that's when you're like right on the edge of a breakthrough. As soon as you're just getting so much resistance from yourself or like whatever it is, that it's like that's the moment where you actually can't quit on yourself. So whether it is like musical improv, I'm an awful rhymer just because of the way my brain works. No, just because of the way my brain works. And it's something that like I struggled with for a while, and then I just like surrendered to, okay, this might not be like my sparkly improv musical quality. And I have like other stuff that I can bring to it where I'm just like
Crazy
just crazy just face off.
Yeah, eventually figured out it's always pulling off people's faces.
And it works every time.
If not rhyme,
And
face.
yeah, face off. Face off rhymes. But for me, it's just like surrender to the things that you obviously feel like you can't change. There will always be progress in that. Just understand that that'll be slow. But for the other stuff, like keep pushing forward, because I think you're always gonna grow whether you like it or not. You just are. At least that's how I feel. Like I wouldn't even say like a step behind in the realm of this community of like where you are in your process. I feel like you're only like in a race with yourself. So
Yeah.
keep like trying to encourage yourself to move forward.
Something I was thinking about was like another value in working with the same group over a period of time is also working with similar coaches over a period of time. Where like if you're setting up an experiment, you want to have as many controlled variables as you can, so the thing you're changing is as limited to that thing as possible. Like if you're like, oh, we're going to work on like some simple scene work, right? This time we're only working on this one variable just to see how we build that habit. And I think for me, it's been like, oh, I am learning more about the nuance of commitment with this specific group, because I'm like, it keeps on coming up in little ways where I'm like, oh, I have this impulse to do this thing, but because this coach has seen my work a bunch, and with this group of people, they're like, I noticed a trend here where like, I think a previous note has you in your head and you're afraid to go to this place again, but actually that is what's going to serve this game more than anything. There was a recent scene. I have a little bit of a reputation for having kind of an ingenue.
It's a reputation.
Yeah, but people.
He's just an ingenue.
I go to a dramatic place. I go to a ballad.
And he's a damsel. And
Yeah, most often the damsel. I like a window. But in the past year, I've been like really trying hard to play different characters, and then without having without being able to plan for it, I was in a practice where I was stopped partway through, and it was like, hey, you kind of made a sort of a joke directed move where like I think even what you're saying would be valid if you had just responded emotionally underneath it in a way that is appropriate, because the game that's being set up is kind of like, it's kind of big, it's kind of emotional, and so it was just a gentle thing of going, you can bring that back now, like don't let go of your instincts from before. And it was like, it was such a visceral note to get, and I don't think it's possible for me to forget it, but I don't know if I would have encountered that note if it weren't for 7 months of practice with the same group.
Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying. You do. Practice is the place where you just think, I'm just going to work this muscle. Because improv is there's so many variables that it's like you can only think about one thing at a time. It's why like anytime people like before a show set show goals and they're like, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm like, dude, like you'll be lucky if you remember like your own name up there. Like nothing wrong with show goals. I think show goals are good, but it's like meditative. Like you want to place one goal in the water of your mind. It's like, I'm going to listen a little bit more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that's all you can handle.
Truly.
With all of the other input, I feel like.
There's so much stimuli on stage that like, I don't know, a live audience just like immediately is electrifying, that it's so hard to go, okay, now think about all of the things that you're doing in practice. It's like truly just, i.e., remember your name. Maybe remember your character's name if someone
You know
called
your
you a
boy
name.
didn't forget his name.
Yeah.
Or sorry, did forget his name. I forgot my name.
yeah.
You called me Johnny, and I went, thank God.
In that set, we originally had a name for flannel that wasn't flannel.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I know, I kept trying to remember that.
And I was like,
And
but it's
none of
a
us got
new
it.
name.
He goes by flannel.
Yeah, because it's like you can remember certain things easier.
Yes.
Speaking of, let's talk about the set. It's rare for players to get to 2020 their own improv, and now with the benefit of immediate hindsight, what are things you like felt really good about, and what are maybe something that you're like, oh, I didn't see the forest for the trees, or I got stuck on this thing. I mean, I'll go first. I loved the tropiness of this show. It's so freeing to do a tropey show because you know you have almost unlimited a well that is very deep to pull from. And something I struggled with is I've never seen a full Hallmark movie. So I was almost like doing I was doing like pulling from the well of cultural critique of that thing.
Uh-huh.
Where it's like, oh, I know there's this kind of thing in Hallmark movies because I've seen the TikTok about it, you know? And that's like something where I'm like, I need to watch a Hallmark movie. You know
If you watch one, you've watched them all.
Yeah,
I
they're
see.
pretty much
Yeah.
all the same. I've only seen maybe 2 or 3, but it's kind of the same formula each and every time. And I think we hit a lot of the strong points on that one.
Yeah.
In this moment, I'm realizing I'm the same as you, Philip. I've only seen parody or critique, and I, for some reason, thought I'd seen full Hallmark movies, and I'm going back and I'm going, no. I think I just saw.
Can we watch one of yours?
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Can you drop one?
can I what?
Can you drop a name?
Can I drop a name?
Yeah.
A Recipe for Joy. That or there's the Naughty Nine that's on Disney Plus, but
Naughty
that one's
Nine.
more of like a Christmas heist, which is actually kind of cool. It's like Ocean's 11 meets Ferris Bueller's Day Off for
That does
children.
not sound like Hallmark.
It's like quite. It's like very much like a Christmas movie, but it's really fun.
Okay.
And then the other ones I've done, they're more like Lifetime in terms of like someone's died. So I'm
Yeah.
like, maybe that one's not the Christmas movie that you want to. But I do want to say like they are super formulaic. So there's like tropes, but they're meant to make anyone who's watching it be busy while they're watching. So
Yeah.
essentially, like, you don't actually have to watch the whole thing to know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you're watching your binge-worthy television show and you're just watching it for soothing qualities. It's like you watch a Hallmark movie and you're like, everything's going to be okay.
I almost wonder if you dropped like Meryl Streep into that, like if it would actually be kind of upsetting because it's like we don't need you to live the full lived reality of your dad having cancer, for
Yeah.
example. It's like we
It's
actually
actually too much.
That'd be too much. We
Yeah.
actually need it to be painted with like the glossy softness of a response that is more like a children's play about cancer or something.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's actually something, not to go into like casting and like totally into that world, but there's a lot of like really great dramatic actors who don't usually book Hallmark because it stands out if they're too good in the genre.
Right.
Because they want it to be softer, they want it to be digestible, they want it to be like easy and glossy, as you mentioned. And if they're too dramatic, it actually throws off the whole tone.
Right. Like if there's true full mucus tears,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, we don't do that. Like we do a single tear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
that's Hallmark.
Yeah.
But yeah, to go back to your original question of critiquing our own work that we just did.
Or like
Yeah.
celebrating your own work and
Yes,
leaving
yes.
room
Oh,
for one
critique
question.
zone.
Yeah, no,
You're in the
critique
critique
zone.
zone.
Yeah, you're in the critique zone.
zone.
Self-critique, we love it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so interesting, actually. I don't usually get like propped up as like the protagonist. So like that was an interesting swing for me because I love playing like supportive roles or like supporting roles in even our sets. So when we endowed, and I knew who I was when the endowment happened, I was like, oh, Brittany, take the wheel. Like that was quite a tiny bit of pressure because I'm like, oh, I'm not the ingenue. I'm usually not Adam's role.
And what a breath of fresh air was that for all of us.
It was just interesting because I do feel like my archetype is usually I like being like best friend. I like being supportive character. I do like enjoy playing lead roles, but it was just it's not my lean. It's not where I lean usually.
Yeah.
So like when I'm gonna watch this back, I'm gonna just be hyper critical of like, oh, was that the right move for her? Or
Yeah, it's funny to be the protag of a narrative show because you're kind of in the driver's seat to
Yeah.
a certain extent, just because at any given moment you're probably the next response. Like
Yes.
it's just a simple question of lines per show. Like if you're the protagonist, you have you're driving with your wants, but you're also kind of like driving locations and you're driving like, which is why almost always in coaching narrative, I usually think people put too much pressure on the protagonist. Like, hey, get out there, like make moves, endow. Like, you need to endow harder because they are out there carrying the whole, whole
Honestly,
thing. Yeah.
Very much similar to like a normal television series, how a lot of the leads, it's like they're kind of the same character, and all of the supporting characters are the ones like endowing, just because like you are carrying the whole show.
Yes.
Interesting.
And you have a responsibility to be like voice of reason by default.
Kind of.
Sometimes, like I feel like you did play a lot of voice of reason in the show. Like, oh, that isn't a good proposal. Oh, that isn't normal. That what did it come up? That those poems aren't
Good.
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I love the real reaction. It's so you put a boat. What?
Yeah.
Even if I love you and I'm so there's a kind of like danger
Yeah.
in this gesture because it's
Yeah.
like this is so much to the point where I'm like if I'm really being faithful to the scene, there's no way I could possibly accept your proposal.
I know, and it was a 24-carat diamond ring.
Yeah.
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 And again, Sally probably wanted to accept it, but she hadn't seen this man flannel for 5 years.
Exactly.
That I'm like, there is this reality of like he's living in a different reality where like the grand gestures are one thing. You think like your character is like, no, she'll get past me cheating on her 12 times.
Well, in my mind, later on, I was like, he thinks he's him. Like,
Yes, of course.
I think he thinks he's like, oh, we're meant to be, and this is my trial.
Yeah.
And that's the excuse he's given himself.
Yeah.
Should we go back and do that song?
I think I can get it this time.
yes.
Yeah, I thought that was a really fun game. I liked that you played it all the way through. Like it's fun. Sometimes I think our impulse can be like, oh, because we expect that the person, we had queued up, we had framed like women love sudden spontaneous, like so it was kind of understood that this was not going to work. That's like the fun of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think early on in my improv career, at least, I always had the instincts of like, well, people know I'm going to not like it, so then I should like it because like comedy is surprise.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, no, actually, it's just like, it's more like the execution of the idea is the fun. It's like we know what's going to happen. Like they're not going to like it unless something in the improv brings it up such that genuinely you like it.
Yes.
Like that's why the poem bit was so funny. It's like genuinely, I think there was a possibility that he would just win. Like
Yes.
the poem would be good enough.
Yeah.
It's like playing D&D or something. It's like you're
Yeah.
rolling the dice of what could happen.
Yeah.
John rolled in that one.
I honestly thought that John was going to be like, yeah, I'm going to speak from the heart. Like this is going to win her over because like it's not a grand gesture. This is like a sweet gesture, which would normally win someone over in a Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
But
It's-
you know me, I'm never the
No, I know,
I'm
but
never
which is
the love
funny.
interest, so that's why I went my route.
I love that you were the love interest.
Yes.
Yeah, because that never happens with me. I'm usually the taxi driver, you know.
We all
Or
got
the snowman.
switched around.
Or the
right.
snowman.
Or the snowman, I guess. I don't
I feel like one of the fun things about and so scary things about improv is sometimes the joke becomes your own flaws.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I know I've done so many scenes where it's like
Yeah.
I'll genuinely try to like deliver on like that heartfelt thing and someone will be like, that wasn't heartfelt, and I'm like, oh right, like I have work to do as a man. You know what I
It just
mean?
cuts right to the
Yeah,
core.
yeah, it's like, oh right, like that isn't a good poem I can come up with off the jump. I'm not saying that about you, John. I'm
No,
just saying
no,
like
it's fine.
that's like some of the most fun, but you have to have a healthy ego, or
You
you know,
gotta.
sense
You have to
of
let it
self.
roll.
Yeah.
You gotta let it
Tough.
roll.
It's
Yeah.
tough.
Ugh.
Yeah, so many times when like you take a big like or like you're supposed to play the sexy guy
Yeah.
or something and it's like that wasn't sexy. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I was really trying.
Yeah.
It truly is like what you feel comfortable playing with. And we all have like our go-to characters too, but when you do get endowed a character that you feel vulnerable in, man, is it hard to be like just double down and not think about it. Like
Yeah.
not like have like your own ego involved, just like no, let's just jump in.
Speaking of, was it your intention for that call to be boss or X?
Oh, it was definitely intended to be the X. So we
Incredible.
had
Okay.
the exact same impulse at the same time.
Incredible.
Which, then I was just like quickly pivot. There's definitely a move I've seen in lots of shows where it's like
Yeah.
we're both
Yeah,
the
yeah.
boss, and I was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
I was kind of leaving it to you
Yeah, I was like, no, just patch you through.
on the piano.
But it's that happens all the time. It's the best feeling actually, because like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a great move.
Yeah.
Because multiple people are thinking of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite move was being the lady in the background. That you were
Oh,
like
God.
you were patched in, but you
Yeah.
were like still cheating.
That was.
Yes.
I'm so glad you jumped in and started heightening, bringing all the other people in. Because I was about to just sing another little couplet, and you're like, no, and I'm here too.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, thank you, that's good.
That's something nice about podcast improv is like, I mean, not that you can't do it on stage, but it's like the theater of the mind is such that you can add unlimited. You can really blow out the game really quickly right at the end.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, and we're,
And we're here too.
there's 100 other women and we're flying to the sky. Like, the rules of physics don't apply.
Flying to the sky.
And we're flying to the sky.
Wicked 2 coming out.
We're almost out of time. I know we lose you in a second, Brittany. But as you move forward in musical improv, what's something that's like you're staying jazzed about or that you're curious about these days?
Me personally, us as a team.
Personally.
Personally? Okay. Okay. All right. I mean, I personally, I guess I want to make sure our shows are like blowout affairs. Like, like where it's like, we're like lately when I think we did like a Tina Turner thing and like we were all in like, in sync together,
Insert photo here.
Right. But like,
We'll send it to you.
We'll send it to you.
we'll send it to you.
Yeah,
But
I'll definitely be inserting that.
I really like the idea of like 8 minds working together as a hive, and like sometimes you'll miss something, but then you're like, oh wait, let me jump on that quickly. But like just the idea of just constantly just kind of being like, what, this is probably what we're doing, and then you look over and you're like, yeah, that is what we're doing, and then just be
Buzz,
ready to
buzz.
go. Yeah,
Buzz.
being it up.
Yeah, and I'll go. And I, thank you. I feel like I have been. The longer I've done musical improv, the less I have a stake in exactly how the show goes. I'm much more like playing with abandon of like, oh, I might have ideas or things that I like to do, but I'm also I'm finding the part of like the ego that like is like working on something and wants to try it is really leaving and making space for I really just want to do what the show wants. Like whatever the game is, like if the song is me not singing at all and doing a physical bit that supports, I'm actually very content to do that. And I think that probably does come from being so privileged to get to do so many shows with Louise and otherwise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think abandon overall, just like kind of also like playing stuff that is maybe even more out of my wheelhouse to the point where you're like, oh, I don't actually know easily how to play this game. And there's a kind of like our lovely friend of the community, Greg Smith, talked to me once about kind of like jumping out of the plane and then like figuring out your parachute as you fall. There's like that quality that's actually very fun to watch in someone performing live, where you're like, oh, we're watching you find it. So as you discover it, we're discovering it too, and it's even maybe 100 times more fun than if you clearly had a plan and just did it.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of improv.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just like-
improv, yeah.
Well, just in general, but like, yeah, it's just like, yo, hey, we're flying, and hopefully we hit the ground safely.
Yeah, what I'm describing is I'm learning to like improv. I'm learning to like it, and
And
us home.
Bring us home. It sounds like you're talking about commitment, right? Aren't you talking about
Christmas, babe.
Christmas wish.
Commit to it.
I think personally for me, I mean, with this adventure of like musical improv and always feeling like the pillars keep like moving. Every time you learn something, you realize how much you don't know. Truly for me, it's just like, now that I've got a lot of the foundation laid, I want to really be hypersensitive to like truly, as sad as it sounds and as basic as it sounds, the first like couple things that are said, like really finding whatever that is in there. Because our sets on Louise and Small Town Mayor are very premise driven because we do have an opener. However, sometimes we are doing a tiny bit of an organic start with just like a familiar character you've seen in the opening because we don't have like as much of a premise to pull. And sometimes like there is so much life that you can find in like the first couple exchanges. And I think for me now that I'm like, okay, I'm not having a panic attack throughout this whole scene. Now I want to get to like, well, not as often. But for me,
And that's
now
growth.
and that's for me, I
I can
think
see Harper Rose rubbing off on you. In
yes,
your, in your
too much,
mannerisms.
too much. This is the Harper Rose.
Yeah. We love you, Harper.
Yeah, we really folded into each other now.
Yeah.
We truly have.
Yeah.
But I think that it is, yeah, just continuing to like grow as an improviser. I know that it sounds so silly to like, we were talking about listening, how like in the beginning of a show before you do anything. You want to like set a goal. And honestly, it is just like listen more and try to not go into problem solving so quickly. And then, yeah, commit to what that is. I think like that's like a personal thing. In terms of like the team, just have fun. We've been having a good time that I'm
Yeah.
like, I just want to continue to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like I don't do very much premise-driven improv at all, and it actually kind of spooks me. Like,
You wouldn't think of the musical version as a premise show, kind of?
no, isn't that funny?
Huh.
I
Oh.
guess actually the whole show is a premise because
Yeah.
you're musicalizing, you know, Kit Kats or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's funny. I've never drawn that connect. I've always been like, no, it's basically an organic show with like a plot frame. But anyway, I find that really interesting. I feel like premise reminds me of Harold's, which I always struggled with.
And I hear you, but even not saying but and yes, and I feel like the games that we play after the musical version of even like Hometown USA, those are premises.
Right, like this, you know, you already have so much there because like,
Yeah.
oh, we know it's going to be a riff on the dad-daughter relationship in a Hallmark movie,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's like kind of enough premise to, yeah,
Find something. And like again, it could be just it's like a light thing. It's a light us establishing a baby roadmap. And obviously we can go wherever we want, but at least right away it's like, oh, we kind of have this taken care of, which
Right.
feels again not heavy premisey, but you're like, oh, we have things checked off. And I feel like for like Harold-esque stuff or premise generated stuff, it's like because it's mildly familiar, we've already taken care of that.
right. There's so much base reality that's already dealt with, as opposed to when you're doing a jam, it's like the first 3 lines you have to like be listening with the biggest, openest ears because
Yes.
it's like you're not only getting crucial information about like who they are, where you are, but also like how they feel about you and how real everything is, how grounded it's like all this
Yeah.
like hyper
What does
awareness.
this remind you of? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like that movie. Now we have those
Yeah.
things we can pull from.
Yeah.
And you can't even like truly get a game off and running or like know what the scene is about until you know who each other is, where you guys are, what's even happening.
Why it
Like
matters?
no, truly,
Yeah.
like it. You kind of have to do all of that, especially for jams, and that's honestly jams are incredibly difficult because of that reason.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to, so you guys do an opening and then you have all this, you have this well of at least like ideas or like, yeah, it's
Or
why openings are
characters.
nice.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, good. We did, it like takes the pressure off the generative part of improv, the purely generative part. Because
Yeah.
it's like, oh, we have like a well, we built a little well and we put something in it. Yeah.
To just check off like a couple things before we start the song.
Yes. Of like, oh, good. We're doing Hallmark, for example. That's
Yeah.
a well. Well, this was really fun. Anything before you go that you want to share or add?
John.
Say the thing you always say. Say the thing you always say to inspire people, Adam.
What?
Say the thing that you always say to inspire
Say
people.
the thing you always say to inspire
Adam, say
people.
the things that
Adam,
you always say to inspire people.
say that thing you always say.
I.
All right, thank you guys so much for listening.
That was
This has
beautiful.
been such a blast.
That was
Wait, no, I've
beautiful.
got it.
Bye.
Wait, give me a shot.
No, we had enough.
Episode will end.
You had your
right
chance.
there.
Adam, you had your chance.
Da-da-da-ba-da-ba.
Thank you guys.